From MTN News, you're watching Montana This Morning.
The active hostage situation has come to an end. I'm Annie Johnson, and I'll have the full story coming up.
What happens to all the PPE gear after businesses are finished using it? A Great Falls salon is joining a national movement to make sure it doesn't end up in landfills. Just ahead, see how that works. And the president is touring the country, pushing his new American Families and American Jobs plans. Coming up, learn just how much those will cost and where the administration will get the money. Holly Brantley, Chet Lehman here. Chet, you're just relaxing, enjoying this beautiful morning, huh?
If your boss doesn't let you enjoy one of these today, you take them to Human Resources. Everybody should be having their lunch outside. Find a picnic table, find a park. There's dozens of beautiful parks around southwest Montana. It's going to be a day to take your lunch in the park. I'm going to just do the rest of my morning here on the patio.
All right.
That's what we're talking about. Take a look at your current conditions out there. This is why. It's 52 right now in tropical Four Corners, much as it is in Whitehall, 31 in West Yellowstone, 41 in Phillipsburg, 49 in the Dillon area. As far as your day goes, we're going to put it up into those mid to upper 70s, maybe even touching into the 80-degree range. We could see some records fall by the time we get into the 5:30 news tonight. Matt Elwell will let you know if that's happening. Meantime, for the Butte area, what a beautiful shot that is right there. Mid 70s today. Under mostly to partly cloudy skies with just a little bit of breezes blowing in, but those breezes are bringing a little moisture for us to kick off May. I'll have details of that, Holly, all of that coming up in about 10 minutes.
Awesome. Thank you, Chet. Well, now to news. An hours-long standoff, armed standoff that is, and hostage situation in the Forest Park community was resolved yesterday after hours of negotiating. MTN's Annie Johnson reports on what happened that led to the suspect ending up in the hospital.
The standoff has officially come to an end, lasting a little under 12 hours. The scene is being cleared, but it's an active investigation.
Well, it's just like any other investigation. We've roped off the area. We've allowed residents back into their homes. We've roped off the specific area around the crime scene. We'll start collecting evidence, start doing interviews, just as a standard investigation goes.
The standoff ended after the man injured himself.
Ultimately, he did end up, he shot himself, and immediately the guys reacted. They got there, began medical treatment, and he has been transported to the hospital.
So to confirm, he is not deceased?
He's not deceased. He's been taken up to the hospital, and they'll be doing care at that time.
The man let the woman he had been holding hostage go hours prior, and she was also transported to the hospital, but there's been no official confirmation on her condition.
I don't know. We did do our interviews. We've talked with her. That investigation is continuing.
It is also unclear the relationship the two people had with each other.
I don't have any of the details of that relationship at this time.
So where does the investigation go from here?
DCI, which is the Department of Criminal Investigation from the state, they'll be coming down to help us. Just in case, anytime we have a shooting, we want to make sure that we did not do the shooting, but shooting in an incident where someone is likely going to be in custody, we want to make sure that everything is done properly, and the DCI will come down and assist us with all of that.
Residents are welcome to return back to their homes. Reporting from Norris Road, Annie Johnson, MTN News.
6:33 now. There is one more death from COVID-19 in Gallatin County. The health department reports that a man in his 70s passed away at a hospital the week of April 18th. 62 people have now died of the virus in Gallatin County. Butte-Silver Bow County has been holding at 85 deaths, and the test positivity rate is down to a little over 3.5%. 54 people are in hospitals with the infection across the state. Butte held another vaccination clinic Wednesday at the Butte Civic Center, but this one ran later than others. The clinic started at 3 in the afternoon and continued until 7 o'clock in order to make it more convenient for those who work or are at school during the day. It was a lower turnout day with about 240 people who signed up for vaccinations, while there were more than 90 walk-ins.
But we have a long way to go, so we need to keep going, and we will. We'll figure it out, and the next step we need to take just to keep encouraging people every day to get their vaccine.
A second shot clinic will be held May 4th at the Civic Center from noon until 6 in the evening. That's next Tuesday. Well, meantime, a Great Falls salon is turning PPE into bricks and clean energy. The salon is one of many nationally and internationally recycling PPE. But as MTN's Coulter Onstadt found out, that's not the only thing the shop is recycling.
I can bring this over just so you can get a shot of all of it.
At Studio Montage Salon and Spa in Great Falls, there is a seemingly inconspicuous, tall, white cardboard box filled with used personal protective equipment.
Masks, face shields, gloves, all our Clorox wipes.
But what you won't see when you look inside the box is what it will all eventually become.
It's really exciting.
The salon has partnered with a company called Green Circle Salons. For a small fee, the company collects used PPE and incinerates it. The ash is used to make construction materials, and the incineration process generates clean energy that is used to power homes and businesses.
We basically send out our recycling weekly or bi-weekly.
Celeste Smith is a manager at Studio Montage Salon and Spa. She says recycling makes sense.
The brand that we love and use and work for is Aveda, and a big part of our mission is to care for the world we live in. And so it really got me thinking about just the day-to-day. I mean, the little acts, I think, add up to, big results in the end. And so we found this company, and it really just aligns with our mission.
The PPE process was designed as a way to essentially ensure that we're able to recover all of the waste that salons and spas were generating after reopening.
Will Simpson is the lead educator for Green Circle Salons. He says knowing he's helping the environment is an incredible feeling.
Personally, for me, I find it so gratifying to know that, the work that I'm doing is something that's actually solving a lot of our challenges.
Green Circle Salons doesn't just take PPE though, and Studio Montage Salon and Spa has actually been recycling with the company since 2018.
We recycle our foils, used foils, especially with hair color on them. We're able to recycle wax strips, wax sticks, all our plastic shampoo bottles, product bottles. We recycle glass. We also can recycle all our tools that end up breaking.
Our commitment to our members, our salons and spas, is that we will help them to recover up to 95% of their waste.
Smith hopes the studio's effort plants the seed for a brighter, greener future.
Hopefully in the future we can do even more and even just inspire more people to get involved.
In Great Falls, Coulter Anstadt, MTN News.
While Green Circle Salons primarily works with salons and spas, other businesses are eligible. For more information, check out this story on our website. Meantime, on the national front, the Federal Trade Commission says over the course of the pandemic, it has tracked more than 400,000 scams related to COVID-19, which have defrauded consumers of nearly $400 million. But now FTC officials say their ability to fight scammers has been dealt a devastating blow. CBS's Chris Martinez reports from Los Angeles.
Earlier this year, Janice Gash gave her contact info to the health department for a vaccine appointment. She got a call back, but when the caller asked her to spell her name, something didn't seem right.
I said, you should have my name, you're getting in touch with me for the vaccine.
Gash thought it might be a scam and hung up. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are trying to tackle an uptick in pandemic scams, including criminals contacting seniors offering fake vaccine appointments for money.
An individual who announced on Facebook that he had developed a COVID-19 vaccine and offered to vaccinate consumers for $400 each. And in the course of the investigation, we learned he admitted that he had injected about 30 consumers with his products.
Other scams include stealing personal information while offering to help with funeral services, selling fake sanitizer and masks online, and peddling fake COVID cures, treatments, and counterfeit vaccination cards. Consumer groups are warning the worst is yet to come, due in large part to a recent Supreme Court decision that no longer allows the FTC to go after deceptive companies for monetary damages.
This decision will dramatically curtail the ability of the FTC to effectively protect consumers.
The FTC is asking Congress to reinstate its ability to collect money for consumers. Until then, officials say they'll work with law enforcement agencies to hold scammers accountable. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
6:38 on your Friday. President Joe Biden, on day 100 of his presidency, was in Georgia yesterday talking about his proposed American Families Plan and American Jobs Plan. But where's the money coming from for all this spending, and how much is this costing you? Our Joe St. George is taking a look at not only that, but also the likelihood any of this will actually become law.
Madam Speaker, the President of the United States.
The president is talking a lot about the future these days.
We're at a great inflection point in history.
And a lot about future spending impacting you, which may have you wondering, how much is all this costing? The American Rescue Plan, which became law in March, cost $1.9 trillion. The American Jobs Plan, the infrastructure proposal to fix roads, bridges, and broadband, has an estimated cost of $2.5 trillion. And the new American Families Plan, which would create programs like free community college and paid family leave, has an estimated price tag of $1.8 trillion. Combine that all together, and that's $6.2 trillion new dollars President Biden wants to spend in his first year. For perspective, President Obama was criticized by some for his record-setting 2009 stimulus. That price tag, though, was just $840 billion.
The White House says their plans will be paid for with new taxes, but whether or not the men and women who work here on Capitol Hill and in Congress believe that argument is still to be determined.
The American Jobs Plan calls for an increase in the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%. The American Families Plan calls for an income tax rate increase for the top 1% of earners, changing the highest tax bracket they'd pay from 37% to 39.6%. The president has routinely said couples making under $400,000 a year won't be impacted. Additionally, the president wants to tax millionaires more on any capital gains like the selling of stocks. Not to mention, he wants the IRS to audit more people so the government receives what it's supposed to. All of this will be debated by Congress in the coming weeks, and with so many Republicans already skeptical of the spending, it will likely mean Democrats will need every one of their senators to be on board in order for this to pass. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin, the influential moderate from West Virginia, has already said all this money is making him a little uncomfortable. On Capitol Hill, I'm Joe St. George.
Well, weather from the patio and your headlines coming up, including this story, the latest shortage, chicken. Coming up, find out why one of America's favorite dishes may be harder to find in the coming months. But first, here's a preview of what's happening at 7 on CBS This Morning.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, part 2 of the CBS News investigation into cases of misconduct within the Navy SEALs. How some took advantage of their newfound fame after the killing of Osama bin Laden. Plus, Olympic gold medalist Allie Raceman helps us kick off Mental Health Awareness Month. Only on CBS This Morning, the gymnast discusses her own wellness journey and offers advice for athletes competing in Tokyo this summer. And also only on CBS This Morning, music mogul DJ Khaled talks with us about his new album, Khaled, and how it symbolizes a new phase in his career. All coming up when we see you at 7.